Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
Here are today's top headlines. RHJ says if it gets Opel, it might sell it back to GM. Ford slashes hybrid costs by 30%, and Nissan gives us another tantalizing glimpse of its new electric car. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Monday, July 27th, 2009, and now the news. Reuters reports that RHJ, the investment company that's in the running to buy part of Opel, says it might sell Opel back to General Motors after both companies get through their restructuring and are back on their feet. Canadian supplier company Magna is the other bidder for Opel and wants to work with Russian automaker Gaz to use Opel technology to make new cars. GM is making numerous changes on its international executive staff, including a change at Holden, its Australian subsidiary. Mark Royce, who had been running Holden, will return to the U.S. to play a major role in GM's product development. He'll be replaced at Holden by Alan Beatty, a longtime veteran in GM's overseas operations. Dealers are being told by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to destroy the engines of cars traded in under the Cash for Clunkers program and kill those engines with sodium silicate. According to Bloomberg, dealers must replace the oil with the chemical and run the engine for a few minutes to kill it and kill it good. NHTSA noted that some cars turned in under Germany's scrappage plan were resold, and it doesn't want the same thing to happen in the U.S. Dealers face up to $15,000 per infraction if they violate the rules. Even though China surpassed the U.S. in car sales this year, its imports and exports of vehicles have fallen for the year. According to GasGoo.com, imports have fallen 34%, while exports plunged 60% in the country for the first half of the year. Imports have dropped because dealers built up a large inventory by the end of last year, and they are also pessimistic about future auto sales. Wards reports that by 2012, Ford aims to reduce the cost of its hybrid systems by another 30%. That reduction is incremental to the 30% it already took out of the system in the Fusion. One example of how the company is doing this is how it switched from using chillers to cool the battery pack on the original Escape hybrid to air cooling on the Fusion. Ford's working with its suppliers to keep costs down on upcoming lithium-ion batteries. Nissan previewed an upcoming electric vehicle in Tokyo. The prototype is based on the company's compact Tita, or the Versa in North America. It features a lithium-ion battery pack mounted under the floor that should deliver a range of about 160 kilometers or about 100 miles. In other Nissan news, the company announced that it's working on its next-generation continuously variable transmission. At 7.3 to 1, the newly designed CVT's ratio spread is 20% higher than other CVTs. It's also 10% shorter in length and 13% lighter. Look for the new transmission to debut in the near future. And coming up next, we'll take a walk around with the designer of the new 2010 Ford Taurus. We'll be back right after this.
Changing tires out here could be dangerous, but with these tires, I don't need to worry.
Bridgestone.
Last week on Autoline, we took an in-depth look at Ford's redesigned 2010 Taurus. Let's take a walk around the car with the man responsible for the way that it looks. Hi, I'm here with Earl Lucas, the exterior designer of the brand new Ford Taurus. And Earl, great to have you here, taking me all around what this car is about. But let's start with the front end. Tell me about some of the details that you put into the car here.
Well, clearly you can see that it's a much more confident face. Really what we were trying to do is make the car feel a little bit more upscale. So you can see that the chrome to painted relationships have been truly worked on with this grille, and also the addition of perforation.
And what's the perforations do here?
Well, really what it does, it gives another level of detail. That's really what we're trying to do. To make the car feel more upscale, you have to make sure that you have all the second and third reads with the car, and that's what we've done here.
And there's a very subtle line here in the front fascia that seems to pick up out a part of the front grille. Explain what that's all about.
Well, design lines and themes have to start from some spot, and on this car, we started from the lower grille. There's a line that starts at the lower grille, and then all that momentum, all that design language transfers down the body side.
So it comes all the way down, sweeps down the side of the car.
Yes, no doubt about it, yes.
And a lot of detail in the headlamp here, too. Tell me a little bit about this.
A lot of detail, simply be, if you're going to have the right read, the headlamps are always the face of the car, right? So if you want to make sure you get the right read, you need to put that extra time and detail in the lamp so that the car reads as confident as we really want it to.
And again, another very subtle line that you've got even molded into the headlamp cover.
That's exactly right, because like I said, there are multiple theme lines that travel down the body side. One, of course, does start with the headlamp, and then of course it transitions into the shoulder of the car.
And then talk about the whole side of the car too. I mean, big, powerful. I mean, this thing feels thick and solid and safe, I guess. Is that what you're trying?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, what we're trying to do, John, really is that, this is a tall sedan, like as you referred to. And really what these horizontal lines do, they kind of segment the car so that the car reads as much more sporty than a traditional tall car would. These horizontal lines start from the front, but they really play the part of making the car seem a lot smaller.
And unlike the Chrysler 300, which really sort of cheated the glass, you got a little bit of that, but not quite.
Well, the guys in the back want to see out of the car too. So it's my responsibility, to give them a window to the world. So we wanted to make sure the car was sporty, but we still need to be responsible in terms of making sure the car is comfortable for people in the back seat.
And let's carry this all around to the very back end of the car. Very interesting graphic on the rear here, unlike anything I think that we've seen recently from Ford.
Well, I think what we're trying to do here is reference a number of things. There is an Interceptor concept car that we did a number of years ago that I think if you look back at it, you will clearly see that reference. But if you squint and look at the second generation Taurus, you will also see a family resemblance. So we were trying to make sure that the car truly reads as a Taurus in front, side, and of course rear view as well.
And of course, since we're looking at a show, we see the rear spoiler and the dual chrome-tipped exhaust.
True dual exhaust. And but I think the biggest point to make reference to, John, when you see the chrome tips, also the appointment of chrome, making the car look upscale and look expensive by the amount of chrome that we're using. But of course, you need to make sure that the thing really reads as sporty and hot. You have to put a wing, but this wing has an integrated camera to help you when you put the car in reverse.
And one last thing. Boy, that oval's big. You guys really wanted everyone to know this is a Ford.
We're proud that it's a Ford product. And as you know, Ford is making roads to really change their image. We've always been known as a great truck, great SUV company. But now we're showing everybody we're a great car company as well.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Very interesting. Yeah,
Thanks
for taking me around the car.
No problem.
Look for the hot new Taurus to start arriving on dealer lots very shortly. And that's it for the news, but don't forget to tune in to Autoline After Hours on Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, when our guest will be Jim Hall from 2953 Analytics. He's always got great insights. On another note, we're working on a story all about hypermiling and would like to know your driving tricks to get the best possible fuel economy. Give us a call at 1-620-AUTOLINE, that's Autoline without the E, or the full number is 1-620-288-6546. Anyway, that is it for today's show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Visit our website for even more great content all week long. Autoline Extra, Dawn's Journal, podcasts, and even more. So click over and get the inside view at AutolineDetroit.tv.